Once the nail is completely cured, then it's going to be time to file. The first thing I'm going to do is I remove my form, and I'm going to come in and make sure that my skin is not attached to the side of the nail. I'm going to bring my emery board along the side, and I'm going to go straight up into the sidewall until the nail is perfectly smooth on the side. I'm going to do that on both sides. This is going to prevent the nail from flaring out and looking too fat for the person's finger. We shouldn't have to do a lot if we've done our job and pinched the C-curve in, because it should be just a very minimal filing there. Then I'm going to come in and get my preliminary shape for my square nail in. I'm just going straight across. I usually will always start a nail of this kind in a square design, in a square shape, because from here I can actually very easily convert it to any other shape. If I try to go to another shape first, then a lot of times you get it crooked or lopsided, and if the client comes back and says they prefer square, it's nearly impossible to go back to square. So I've got my preliminary shape in. Once that's done, I'm going to come up and do my filing up and around the cuticle, blending this to the natural nail. And I'm starting my filing right at the smile line, and I'm coming up around the cuticle, all the way around toward the center, and then I'm going to come in on the opposite side and file and blend that nail all the way up to the center. Once that's done, I'm going to start on my lower arch over here. I'm going to come in from the side of the nail, looking and make sure that that nail is coming straight out from the sidewall. And once again on the opposite side. Always check too for any little fringe that might form on the back side of the nail from the filing, and get rid of that as well, because sometimes that likes to hang on there, and that if you forget about it, polish over it, and then your client's picking at it. After I've filed around the cuticle and I've got my sidewalls and my free edge done, I'm going to start rounding this out now. So I'm going to come up from the side, and I'm going to be filing this up and toward the center of the nail. Once you have filed your sidewalls in, it's time to come in and blend the sidewall to the top of the nail. So at this point, I'm coming in and I am doing a more rounded movement and rounding that edge out, because from filing straight up, now we've got a straight edge there. We want to blend that into the top, rounding it out. Then I'm going to come into the opposite side, and I'm going to do the same thing. Coming in from the side, straight up and around the top, blending it into the top. At this point, I haven't done any major filing in this point, which is the stress point of my nail. So at this, I would just glance down, see if I have any high spots that I need to smooth out. And then I'm just going to start from the stress area of my nail. I'm going to start filing down to the tip, blending it in and thinning out the tip area. Once I've done that, I can come in with my buffing block. I'm going to mirror the same movements that I've done with my emery board. With my buffing block, this will help to remove any surface scratches that might be there and refine that upper surface. Continue to round it out, making sure that you have a totally flawless surface. Once you're satisfied there, I'm going to take our Glossy Nails filing block, and using the dark green side, come in and start at the cuticle area, all the way around that cuticle, making sure that you get your sides across the top and then down, and you'll see that shine on the nail start to arise. Now, as you're filing with this, periodically you might see a slight imperfection in the nail. At that point, it's an excellent opportunity to come back in with your emery board and remove that. If you were doing a traditional pink and white nail, for instance, that flaw would definitely show through. We don't want that to show on our finished product, so it gives me the opportunity to fix it. Now I'm going to come back in and finish filing. I'm going to use that dark green side until I see that the surface is nice and smooth and I don't see any residual scratches anywhere. Then I'm going to switch over to my white side. Once I switch to the white side, it will bring that mirror shine up to the nail and really cause that design to really stand out and to show up. Just a tremendous amount of shine makes the nail look like glass. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take a drop of cuticle oil, rehydrate the nail plate, and help removing any additional dust particles that might be on the surface of the nail. Then I'm going to come in with one of the wipes and I'm just going to remove the residual oil from the nail plate. As I'm doing this, I'm also pushing back the cuticle and I'm going to make sure I come up underneath the nail and remove any dust particles from the back, as well as make sure that I got any little pieces of fringe that might be back there from our filing process. Once I've done that, the nail is totally complete and ready for a top coat.